Good afternoon. It's December the 17th. I thought it might be time to reboot Project Thistle. This lot down here, this is my EP solar charge controller, and that there is a data logger. Initially I had my doubts that these EPEvers were actually providing a proper bulk charge, but I've since discovered yes they do, and I've been logging the data for the past few weeks. Just an experiment really. This van's been sitting out here on my drive for months while I've been finishing Project Was. I started it up today for the first time in weeks, and I've actually moved it elsewhere on my drive so we've got a bit more sunshine. The noise in the background, well you can hear the engine running, but the noise in the background, if you can hear it, is my Urbaspatcher D4 heater. I've got a really weird issue with this one in this particular van. It may be that it's an external box, or it may be that I've just had a faulty motor, but it makes a horrible racket compared to the other one I've got, and I'm going to have to take this out and run it on the bench. But I thought I'd make a little bit of a video following up on the one I did previously about insulation. So this van's been sitting on my drive, as I said, for several months, and you can see potentially quite a lot of condensation up there. It was actually ice. I've rubbed a lot of it off, but there was some ice up there today. I haven't insulated this rib yet. In my previous video I showed a method of insulating these ribs, and you can see that piece of plywood has been getting damp and it's got mould. So I shall be binning all that. It's quite interesting. There's a lot of moisture up there on that area. You can actually see where I've been rubbing it with a towel. It's actually, whoops. Yeah, so I'm going to be out here with some Dettol and mould killer, and I will clean this all up, and I will probably take this plywood down. And the reason why it's got quite damp in here is because I have a leak. Look at that. That entire piece of plywood, and about 50% down there, and down there, has been getting wet. One screw. Max fans have got lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of screw holes in them, unfortunately. Dumb idea in my view, putting holes in things. One screw hadn't sealed properly, and water's been wicking in, soaking into the ply, and you can see mould's got hold. So this entire load of plywood's coming down, going in the bin, and I will replace this with plastic. I will seal the screws properly, and I will probably make some plastic cappings to cover the whole thing up. But I did this almost on purpose. I noticed this leaking. I noticed a bit of damp on this plywood about 6 weeks ago. We've had some heavy rain, and I thought I'd wait and see how bad it got. This is a good example of, in my view, when you put all these fittings in vehicles, get out in the rain for a while. Before you do your sealing, before you put all your insulation in, before your vapour barrier, and put all your nice covering up, get it out and see what happens. If I'd finished this sealing before putting it out here, it would be ruined. And of course, obviously, I've cocked up, but it's one screw. I can see which screw it is as well. It's just one screw out of about, what, 20 of them? It's caused all this damage. And I'm very glad I've left this out here on the drive for several weeks in some fairly heavy downpours to see what's actually happened. And it's the only place that's actually got wet. The condensation, because it's been on my drive under some trees at the front of the vehicle, the condensation is all predominantly at the front. At the back, everything's fine. There's a little bit of mould. I think some of these timbers potentially been getting wet, but I have reused it. This timber is, well, 10 years old now. It was stained when I took the original cladding down, and I think I'll bin the whole lot. It's not in particularly good condition. You can see where I've ripped the tape off, but I can see some mould forming on this now, which I can't remember if it was there when I did my previous video at the beginning of the year. And as you get progressively that, because that end of the van's been in the a lot more sunlight, it's dry as a bone back there. But certainly where we've got areas that have been getting dampish, I mean that really is bad. It's spread. So I will take it all out, clean it all up. The insulation's interesting. That hasn't got any mould forming on it. Neither is this recycled bottle insulation that I've used. I don't like this stuff, it's too hard to cut. I've actually bought something that's a lot easier to work with, and I should be using the softer, nicer, Keith friendly stuff in this van, and I use this really horrible heavy duty hard to cut stuff probably in the lower panels, places that I need to pack out more than a couple of inches. I'll put it in the back and then use the nicer stuff as infill. But that's not a leak, by the way, that's hydraulic fluid. That piece of plywood needs changing. But I just thought of a quick video to say Project Thistle's going to get rebooted over the next couple of weeks. I've still got Sally's van sitting on under my carport. I need to juggle that around. That's going down the side of the garage until she comes to take it away. And can we see Woz? Where's Woz? No, Woz is down there as well somewhere. But we're playing juggling vans probably this weekend, and then I can start getting on with this one. And I've had ideas about reinstating some kind of bulkhead. I'm going to tread on something if I'm not careful, just looking where I'm going backwards. I like the fact we've got the bulkhead in Woz. We've learned a lot from building Woz, which was the whole point of putting this one on hold. I'm probably going to reinstate a bulkhead, but I'm going to do it in such a way that we can still use the swivel seats. I like the security the bulkhead gives, and I like the control over the solar gain in the summer and the heat loss from the glass in the winter. The other thing I'm going to be doing for certain is... Oh, I didn't know there was a shirt in there. I'm going to probably lose this tint. I don't like it. Look at the difference there. Now today's quite sunny, and looking outside is quite pleasant. But looking through there, everything looks dark and gloomy. And I don't like it. I don't like it. I think I'll lose the tint, and we maybe put something else up so we can have a bit of privacy. But it's much nicer to be able to see daylight in its real context. We've learnt in using Woz for the past few weeks that when it's overcast and grey and horrible, you get a really, really negative view of how dark it is outside because you're looking through these really blackened windows. Now, fortunately these, as you can see there's a little tear there, this is just a film. And I can take it off and probably go for a slightly lower tint. The other thing we're going to be doing is reducing the size of these windows massively. Top to bottom, maybe width-wise, but we're going to be getting rid of a lot of the size simply to give us less solar gain, because there's a lot of glass down this side of the van. On this side of the van, not such a problem. It's a big piece of glass. Shower and stuff will be covering some of that, I think, so we may end up with just a small window there. You can see where it was parked, and those bushes there were just providing a bit of shade at the front of the vehicle. But there you go, very short brief video about rebooting Project Woz, or the intention to restart this in the next few weeks. But this is the state it's currently in, just sitting there waiting to be built. I got a bit sidetracked working on Sally Bollington's van, taking Genesis out for her, but now I can get this thing going again. Anyway, thanks for watching.